Greetings, church. It's Kevin Duclairon, and I am at the Thurman Library right now. It is 12:25 Tuesday in the afternoon, and I have, let me see here, I have a few minutes on this laptop here, and let me take this out. I just got out of the Portland Police Department and filed a police report because somebody set my tent on fire last night. I'm not exactly sure who did it or why they did it. Here's the Portland Police card number, and here is the case number back here. So I'm not exactly sure. The couple that just walked out gave me the voice of Jonathan Szabo. Jonathan Szabo is the representative of Charles Windsor, and what I was told was that it was done by the Klan, by the British Klan. Because of the smell of burnt, I didn't want to do, because of the smell of burn, I didn't want to, hold on a second here, I have to put this down. I didn't want to do this inside the library. Instead, I wanted to do it out here. This is the entry right there. This is the entryway. The library is behind me right there. So I wanted to do it here and just kind of give you an idea of this is what's going on in Portland, Oregon. There is, right before this took place, right before this took place, I was at the Multnomah County, at the Portland Police Department preaching the gospel because they wouldn't stop coming out. The Spanish and the African and the black community, they wouldn't stop coming out. So I went over there and preached to them out of Matthew 1:21 and also John 8:11, the woman caught in adultery. Basically calling them to drop their stones and stop judging me. Since when I was in Sacramento, this is the tent that Sacramento completely destroyed. Okay, the poles have been cut here. All of the poles are cut. You can see the poles are cut here. This is the top pole here. They started with this pole. And then after that it was this pole. You can see that the pole is split. Okay, the pole is split. And the third pole here was cut. Okay, it was cut, but then I had to sew it back together. So this is what life has been for the last year. Ever since I went down to Sacramento. The hit, supposedly, I'm not sure where it came from. I was told that it came from OHSU. The doctor and the case manager. I have a new case manager and an old doctor, but I'm not exactly sure because they're already pointing fingers at the new case manager from Multnomah Health. I don't know who this woman is. She's brand new, and this is her card here. So I don't know who she is, so I can't bring her to you and say this is who she is and this is what she's done. She just gave me some paperwork to fill out for new housing, and I heard that my signature is on the paperwork, but automatically they've already put somebody else's name on there. So they're treating me like a slave and not giving me the respect of an American. They burned. I want you to see the burn so that you understand this is what was on the tent. Right? This is what was on the tent. So you people who are out there doing church ministry, understand that this is what was on the tent right here. Okay? This is what was on the tent right here. Would you like to become a disciple? This was the question here that was on this tent right here. Would you like to become a disciple? That's not mine. That's not mine. On the covering here, this is what the covering had said. This is the tent that I had used down in Sacramento for 6 months, and Sacramento police started cutting down the tent. So when they caught up, this was their response here. this is what was on the tent. Okay. All right. This is what was on the tent here. You can see. Okay. And then now when you flip it, this is you can see the burn right there. You can see the burn right here. And this is what was at the bottom. And you can see the burn again on the bottom. Okay? This is the burn. So this is what was on the tent. And if you look at the bottom of the tent, what does it say here? What is it talking about? Jesus said, go and make disciples of what? Of all nations. See where it says here. So it was on that side that they had decided to set it on fire this morning. Now, who did this? I don't know. My suspicion is it has something to do with the black community. Yesterday, when I got up, they had an African man standing across the street from where I was at, and the African man, finally, at the end of his whatever message it was, what he communicated indirectly was for me to go and do that, go suck a dick. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go suck a dick. I asked the Lord if I have to do that, and he said, no, I don't need it. So, took it on good words that I didn't need it, so I didn't go that day to do that. They decided to come out at 24 hours, and I said, no, I'm not going that way. I don't want it. In other words, they're suggesting it. They're reminding me I need to come out because of the 1248, because of the Social Security. And I said, no, I'm not going out like that. So, I don't want it. I want to show this to you, and then I got to get out of here because I have an appointment with one of the Multnomah Health people. So this is what they do. Okay. So now it's not just a slashing like I've shown you, but now it's burning. Okay. So they burned the tent completely down, and same thing with the tarp that was on top of the tent. Completely toasted. So 3 tarps completely burned. Here's another tarp that was burned. The tarp here. I want to show it to you. So you have an idea of what I'm dealing with here in Portland. Portland is not very nice. Okay, they're a violent, pissed off. You can see here the burn. Right. This is the burn that it sticks together. Okay. And here the blanket, right? The blanket, this is part of the tent here, you can see. And you can still smell the burning. So you can see it here. You can see the burning. And here's another, there's another tarp, but the other tarp is inside of the tent, and it's gonna be too much. So this is Christmas 2023. So alongside preaching the gospel, and I preach, 6-7 messages telling them to stop sinning. This is what they have given me to deal with. In the gospel, in the Gospels, I think it's the Gospel of John, Christ tells, they brought a woman to Jesus, and they brought a woman to Jesus, and they said to him that there is the woman was caught in adultery, and they asked him, what should we do with this woman? And he says, well, I'm forgetting here the gospel. The point is that they asked whether or not they can stone the woman because because Moses in the gospel in the Old Testament says they can stone her. They can stone women that are caught in adultery. And he stooped down and he wrote something, and then he said, "Let he who without sin cast the first stone." And they dropped their stones, beginning with the elderly, and they walked. Right. I use that passage because when you go back to Matthew chapter 1, the scripture says that he saved. Hold on here. I think I can. I think I have a minute here because I don't want to be too long in their doorway. I just wanted to keep you up to date with what was going on in case there is an explosion or a burnt. there is a guy from my storage, Northwest Storage. I've seen his face 3-4 times this morning. And I started thinking, wait a minute, is this guy involved in this? I mean, this can't be. But the point that I'm making is that when I read this passage here and then use to explain it, so it says here in Matthew 1:21, it says, she will bear a son, and you shall call his name Jesus, for he will save his people from their sins, right? So no. So he will save his people from their sins. So I gave them a bunch of illustrations of sins. Me getting into an altercation with the guy at the loo was a sin because he lied and he cut me off. The African who was lunging at me on the train, that's a sin. The setup that was at the Portland Rescue, that's a sin. The homosexuality that they wanted me to have and I said no to, that's a sin. So the conspiracy against me and this community to keep me out of housing and for 7 years, that's a sin. Another sin is Jesus, from birth in Matthew, Herod wanted the Magi to come back and kill the baby so he could kill the baby. That's a sin. And then later on, the conspiracy catches up, and through Judas, that's another conspiracy for 30 pieces of silver. That's a sin. So I explained that to them at the police department, but I made a mistake. Okay. And then of course I went back and explained, but he will save his people. How is he going to save his people? Obviously he's not going to take a lifeboat to come and save the people. So what is the whole salvation pitch? And what I did was I used John as, what does he mean by saving his people? They have to acknowledge the fact that they are sinners, right? So when they dropped their stones, they came to the realization that they too are sinners. And literally what I did was I called out the elders of Grace Community Church to drop their stones and stop judging and stop doing what? And stop judging me. So instead of judging me, because behind the Sacramento Police is Grace Community Church Elder Board. Behind the LGBTQ is Grace Community Church Elder Board. Behind the Windsor and Elizabeth and now Charles is who? The Grace Community Church Elder Board. I mean, I'm trying to make the connection, but how else am I going to make the connection? So I called them out and to stop sinning. The mistake that I made was I didn't go into the police department and file a report. I walked away. When I walked away, they sent another guy to, I guess I wasn't sure if he was mocking me, ridiculing me, down in at the Pioneer Square Park. He started coming out. I got vexed. Melinda told me, you cannot pitch the tent. I was so hurt by what he was saying and what he was doing that I just, I just picked up my stuff and I walked away. This is before the fire. So I went and pitched the tent. Raph told me to pitch the tent on Ankeny and Broadway, so I pitched it there. Now, if I had gone into the inside of the police department and spoken to the person at the desk, perhaps they wouldn't have turned arson and set the tent on fire with me in it at 8 o'clock this morning. But instead, what did they do? They spent all night long piercing my body and sexually assaulting my genital. And if that wasn't enough, the burning of the tent was it. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do now. I got a CAD number from Officer, I think his name is Jet. And I've dealt with him before. And yeah, Officer Brad Jett, badge number 46121, and the case number is 23-320368. And he says that they're going to catch up, but how many times have you seen me on here reporting this stuff? And because somebody, now somebody's setting my world on fire. Now somebody's setting my world on fire. Anyway. There's a whole lot more to say, but I think I'm going to cut it short here because I have to get going. I got to go drop this off, and then I have to honor this meeting with the intake meeting that was set up for me by the caseworker at Multnomah County. So I'm going to take some pictures with this, and then that's about it. Keep me in your prayers because this is I'm not sure if I'll make it to Christmas or New Year's. These people want blood, and they killed my mother this year, May 6th. And so this is right in line with, trying to erase my family. Gabriel Franklin and Guy Franklin representing the Queen and the Prince, now King. And so this is, we didn't submit as a family. We didn't submit to the slavery. We didn't submit to the subjugation. We didn't submit to any of it. So, my prayer is that God would have mercy on us and not allow these people to go any further with this, because we don't owe them submission and subjugation, whether or not it's for $1,200 or $1,300. And here's the other thing. The Social Security, I guess they were supposed to give me $100 for this coming year. I don't know how they determine how much money each person get each year. Last year they gave us $100, and so I thought this year might be the same. But I was told that it would be at least $1,300, and it was not. It turned out to be $1,288, and my suspicion is that if it was that amount, because each year's it accrues, because the cost of living accrues with it. Instead of it being $1,348, it's $1,288, and the $60 I get $40, and somebody else gets $60. And the $60 is for the sex. And I'm basically in the streets of Portland saying I don't want sex from these women, these African women, these Haitian women, and these gay men. I don't want the sex. Why is it that they're forcing it upon me? It is ungodly. It is a sin. Jesus was born so that he will save his people from their sin. That's the sin. That's what I've asked these people to stop doing. Stop conspiring against me like you conspired against the Son of God. Stop trying to get me killed. This is evil, So anyway, this is where Christmas 2023, there should have been at least 10, 15 videos, but I don't have a telephone, so how am I going to keep up, right? Okay, you keep me in your prayers. And Father, I pray at this hour that you would protect me for the remainder of Christmas into the new year. I pray that this is not my last year, and that, like Job, you would give me an opportunity to redeem my family, to redeem my country, to redeem myself, my faith, because these people are evil and of the devil. I pray that whoever the arson is, that you will bring them to justice and to judgment, and whoever's behind the arson, in terms of whomever they are representing, may you also condemn them and judge them. In the Old Testament, the scripture says that Ahab and Jezebel conspired against Naboth because they wanted his land for his vineyard, and he would not submit. So they sent two wicked men to proclaim Naboth, to give him a party, and then to destroy Naboth and stone him to death. And you later judged Jezebel by allowing her to fall from a 3-story window and being eaten by dogs. And Ahab, you destroyed him and his son. So God, I pray at this hour, and I turn over the arson to you. I turn over this situation to you that's here in Portland. I turn over this evil that is constantly following me everywhere I go. I heard that when I did look out, the hole that was burning, and the man that was standing there actually had a snake. And if I had grabbed the black gloves, if I had grabbed these black gloves here, that he would have thrown the snake into the tent, and it was a sizable snake. I'm not sure if that man was Preston from Northwest Storage, or if it was somebody else. I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. There seems to be a conspiracy in the missions. There's a conspiracy in the police department. There's a conspiracy in the churches. There's a conspiracy in the homeless community. There's a conspiracy pretty much everywhere. I'm not sure what's going on, but God, I pray that you would help me to keep up my faith, and help me to stand against the wiles of the devil. And as James says, consider it all joy when we encounter various trials, because of the testing of our faith. So you have heard my sermons here this year in 2023, in Portland, in Sacramento, and here I am back in Portland again. And Lord, they have my mail. Sacramento police has my mail. I'm not exactly sure what they're doing with it, but now they have destroyed the tent that preached against them. There is no more evidence that the tent ever existed, and now they have the mail. The only thing they need to do now is take me out and take out the preacher, and take out the offense. The sins of Sacramento, as well as Sun Valley, California, San Diego, Seattle, and now Portland. God, I give these cities over to you like Sodom and Gomorrah, and may you deal with them in accordance with their non-repentance. This Christmas, your son did not die in vain. His blood was not shed on Calvary's cross in vain. And so we nail our sins to the cross, according to Colossians 2:14. But God, I pray and ask that you would give me your grace at this hour, not to lose heart, but to grow strong and courageous as you commanded Joshua. In Jesus' name, amen. So this is what's going on in Portland, Oregon. Now you be a good Christian, and you pray with me and with other Christians, and with Israel, with what's going on over there. One last thing, there was a man in a red truck passing out Bibles. Passing out Bibles in front of not the Justice Center, but the Bill Clinton building. And what I screamed out to him and warned him is that you got to give the people, you have to give the people a warning when you hand them Bibles. You got to tell them that there are consequences that comes with reading the scriptures, believing the scriptures, practicing the scriptures, and teaching the scriptures to their children. You can't just give them the Bible without explaining to them it comes with consequences. And the consequences that comes with being a Christian in the 21st century, as if we're a bunch of devils and monsters, the consequence that comes with being a Bible-believing Christian is here. This is the consequence when they come out. You know they don't respond. They don't respond to.
Are you on a phone call right now?
This is
I didn't want to interrupt you. Are you on a phone call with somebody? This is the response. I have to go. Staff is asking me to leave. No, not at all. Not at all. I'm just checking in with you.
No. Okay. I'm doing a church video.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. You're fine.
Right.
Thanks for checking.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So this is, when you're a Bible-believing Christian, this is what they do. Okay, they set your world on fire. Okay, and your world become a police report. Okay, and the police don't do nothing. Even this bag, I want to show you. Even this bag here, this backpack that I have. This is, you can see, they cut right there. They cut the backpack. They what do you see missing here? They removed the wheel. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a world of hurt. When you begin to read this book here, it's a world of hurt. You understand? It's a world of hurt. So you step into Jesus's corner, and it's nothing but. You sure you want to be born again?